Third eye, pineal gland, center of the brain. This is the activity of your intuition, activity of your knowledge, activity or ability to feel inspired. So whatever vision you're cycling through, whatever vision you're connected with in your life at the moment is coming through your ability to activate the pineal gland, right? So we have the eye of Horus in the Egyptian. It looks exactly like how it is when you cut the brain in half. And this is the space of where the pineal gland is existing. Now, recognizing we're doing meditation in a minute before we connect with our personal vision. And this personal vision will be fully connected with our ability to activate and open up the pineal gland so that the pineal gland is receiving messages. So just as you go to sleep at night and you experience dreams and you have visions and you have certain parallel type of experiences, this is all being depicted and sent forth through the pineal gland, through that transmitter. That transmitter is extremely important for us to recognize as an aspect of focus within our meditations. And so this one, ultimately in the spiritual culture, has become very prominent in our focus of activate the pineal gland, open up the pineal gland, open up the intuition, open up the flow of these messages. Recognizing that just as any chakra can be overactive or underactive. So if you're coming into a space where we're constantly focused on the pineal gland, constantly focused on using things to find ourselves in spaces where we're getting all this inspiration, we're getting all this information, we're getting all these visions, but we're not able to manifest it. We're not able to create it. We're not able to act on it, whether that be fear, all these things. But this is where the imbalance can lie, even as we come to know with our left brain saying higher must be better. So I must go to the higher chakras, I must activate the higher ones and forget about the low ones. Right, so that's important. Seventh chakra, the questionnaire will have some sort of validity in it, but ultimately recognizing the seventh is accumulation of all of them. It is the connection to the divine and the all. So in the process of your yoga, or the process of the enlightened way, the process of coming into that space of samadhi or oneness or divine consciousness, opened awareness, is the space of connecting with the higher sphere and the higher chakra. Recognizing that if we're moving too fast, once again, if the lower spheres are not balanced and we're not looking at some of these aspects, so for instance, if we're looking at the root chakra and we're finding ourselves filled with anxiety, filled with fear, filled with frustration, this is of course not going to provide you with the strength you need to be able to deal with those higher problems that may come up when you're stepping into your vision. So as you're stepping into your vision, you're manifesting this new project, this new business, where you're getting frustrated, you're getting impatient, you're getting confused. This is of course coming from a space of not having handled these lower foundational components, and the house continues to want to crumble. And then you have to build it up again, and then it continues to want to crumble, because we're not looking at exactly what's going on down in those lower spaces and lower spheres. Does that make sense? I'm going to send you guys all an article to go through that you can recognize these a little bit more. There's plenty of books, there's plenty of information on the chakras. It's not as much to get into the logical assumptions and rationalizations and understandings fully of them. This is not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is to be extremely aware of what do they represent and where are the issues and obstacles in your life. That's it. If you're able to find where those obstacles and issues are, you will be able to recognize which chakra they may relate to. It's not always so cut and dry, that's an important component, but it will give you the opportunity to use the certain exercises, the certain practices, the certain meditations to focus on those aspects. Right? So if you're finding your root chakra is extremely blocked and you're having a lot of issues manifesting things in your life and creative things are not coming, they're not manifesting, they're all up here, you have all these ideas, but nothing's happening, well then, we need to spend some more time with nature. We need to start exploring our physical body more. We need to start handling our nutrition. We need to start making sure that our family aspects and our family is starting to get handled more. Maybe we have some past traumas we need to look at. Maybe we need to go speak to our father or our mother. These things need to be done before you start looking at all the other things that need to be done in your life, like all these creations. You need to look at what's clearly at the lowest aspect of the issue, what needs to be cleaned all the way at the bottom. Because if that's clean, then patience will not be an issue for you anymore. Because lack of patience is only coming from a space of fear that I will not have enough time to manifest this certain thing. I will not be able to get to this certain goal at the right time. I will not be able to get there before something else happens. But that something else is always at a place of not feeling secure. Right? If I'm not secure, of course I'm going to be worried about something happening to my security. The fear is always that mirror. right? And the majority of our fears are coming from that space of security. Because when we are in that space of secure, we have our resources, we have what we need. Fear, not so much there anymore. And the ones that do come, they're no longer the same. It's a much different fear. It's one that inspires you to act. It's like inspiration and fear, or excitement and fear being the same. Does that make sense? Any questions on those? Maybe some motivation to do the questionnaire? Right? Just to see, just to peek. And you already know, right? Just from the explanation, you've probably seen, okay, I understand that there are some blockages in these certain areas. So that's something that we can be recognized and it can be focused on. So we're going to get into this next meditation. Let's stretch out our legs and just kind of, I'll just give you a minute just to stretch out. We're going to do a meditation that allows us to go into the clearing of certain things. So we're going to be focusing on each chakra, visualizing the color of each one, and just a focal point of each one we're going to move through. So generally what you may find here is aspects or areas of the spine in which you cannot focus on, just the same other ones that you're very, very much aware. Same with the color. Colors in which you cannot visualize, other colors in which you can completely visualize. Okay? Well, the process of going through that, yes, once again, is just simply intention. So like all healing, healing is very intentional based. So when we're in a space of recognizing something that is coming up in our life that is causing a blockage, that we feel blockage, that we see blockage, that we're experiencing emotion, it is intention first and foremost that directs the healing. So if we feel that there is a blockage within our solar plexus and our ability to act has not always been there, or our confidence is not always there, and we're able to feel that, the ability simply just to set the intention on the balancing of that area and moving that energy out of the body, like we're here to release it and transcend it, is all that's actually needed in the process of healing. Now, the mind and the beliefs will of course make that more complex. No, it can't be that simple. It can't be that obvious. It can't happen that quickly. But that's of course the work that will need to be done on reprogramming those beliefs, because in the process of us having full clarity in our belief, like if you are in a fairly completely divine, body as you are, but in the process of the conditioning, it may be pulled away from that space of flow. So if we were to completely eliminate, come on in. If we were to completely eliminate all of those thoughts that we had seen, all of those thoughts were completely eliminated. That process of elimination will come down to us seeing that the flow can happen instantly. That's important, right? So if we are not recognizing that and we are identified with the beliefs, then the healing will be, yes, much more difficult. It will be much more a longer duration. It will just pose all of the difficulty in front of us when it can be simple. So if we're here to feel where it is that we need to feel and release what it is we need to release, it's only the process of us directing our attention, directing our awareness to those areas, and intending on them to balance, intending them on releasing. So that's why that meditation is extremely powerful. As much as you may not be able to see colors or you may not be able to feel everything, it's extremely powerful, and it's the power of your intention and release from the limiting beliefs that will allow you to fully experience the healing process, faster. And if you want things to be more efficient, then well, that may be recommended, right? So that's important. So what we're going to get into just for this last little bit today is really zoning in, because I intended to go more into the personal vision, but I know lots of us didn't get to that. So I'm going to give that as this next main, portion to this next couple weeks. Did anyone actually do the personal vision component? Okay, so it's appropriate. So we will make sure that for the next 2 weeks that we're completely focused in on this aspect of personal vision. All right, so the elements, firstly, of the personal story. This is, if you haven't finished this, you can also finish it and we can go through it next class. But we're going to be doing a lot of work on limiting beliefs next week, or in 2 weeks. Limiting beliefs, and the clarity and clearing of the story. Whatever it is that you're looking to create and manifest at the moment, whether it's a business, a project, a new job, whatever you're looking to create, the reason why it's not here is because the beliefs aren't aligning with that creation, right? And so the belief pattern is, of course, the box. So everything in that belief pattern will just build that box stronger. So whether it's the thought patterns, the emotions, the blockages within the physical body, these aspects of you are just not fully in alignment with the greater box. That's all it is. So the process of you coming into a greater vision of your life, a greater relationship, a greater project, a bigger business, is only the direction and mode of direction of where the beliefs can expand. And if that box becomes bigger, the thoughts become bigger. The emotions become more expensive. The directions and the ability to move the body becomes a little bit more at ease. If the box is extremely small, it's obvious what that will do. So the process of you understanding that personal story will help you identify where the beliefs have been instilled, whether that's from your parents, from education, from the traumas you've experienced. Whatever these things may be, they must go. And then that's up to you if you want them to go. But if you're wanting to create the vision, if the vision in the second portion is of importance, then the beliefs have to be reconfigured. More so, they must be completely let go of and released. Okay? So that story element is something we can go through. If there's any key and core elements of your story that you feel need to share, we can do that in 2 weeks, and we can allow that sharing to be used as a means of release, because that's generally all it is. The majority of the story elements are just aspects that we've held on to, didn't want to talk about, wanted to keep in the back burner, put under the rug. But until it is released, until it is spoken, until it's communicated, well, then it's forever going to be a blockage within the belief structure. So yeah, that's that first section. Getting into the personal vision. This is important, especially for those of you who've been mentioning this aspect of self-employed, entrepreneurship, projects, stepping into something in which is in alignment with the vision you're looking to create for yourself that provides for more freedom. That is an element in which is of importance, I think, for a good portion of this group, and the reason why many of you are here. So I want you to get very detailed in what it is they're looking to create. Because ultimately, recognizing that the meditative process broadens the awareness into us recognizing that we do have some sort of magnificent power. And that power has just been dumbed down through the belief structure and the educational process. So as we open that up, we see the power in which we have. Now the vision cannot be left within this process of this broad, infinite catalog. That's when nothing gets done, right? I want to do everything. I have everything to do. I have all the tasks in the world and I'm going to be great. Well, nothing happens because, of course, there's no direct space of action. So using something like this will help you dial that in. So as you're coming into meditation, all of a sudden the process of awareness and creativity opens. Now it's time to dial that back in and know when it's time to open it, when it's time to direct it. So the process of answering these questions will help you with that. So it's very important that you spend some time with it and you meditate on it and allow yourself to kind of instill what it is as creative things that you're looking to do. How do they kind of configure themselves into this entrepreneurial, self-employed vision you may have? And then ultimately, what are the steps that you're going to take? You resonate with that? Yes? Because that is so key. If this is the main portion of this course, this is what we need to really get in on. And for next week, or for 2 weeks, I want it to get done so that in those, when we meet next week, we can get really concrete on the actions that need to be taken. So we can all commit to those to a group. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to act on. This is what I need help on. And from there, we can move forward. Alrighty. Well, yes, that schedule is incorrect, so I'm going to be sending that in the email tomorrow, reconfiguring that schedule. But in 2 weeks, we will meet again on February 21st in the evening. I'll be coming back from Toronto. I'll be doing a workshop there as well. And so that's when I would like to have all of those elements done. Originally, I did want to get into the limiting beliefs as well, and I feel like we will. So let's do that as well. So you got a load of things to really focus on, but I do want you to get into the limiting beliefs, especially because the moment in which you're connecting with the vision and that aspect of what you're looking to create, the limiting beliefs will present themselves. And so be really honest with yourself. Okay, if I have this vision, if this is what I'm looking to create, but I don't think it can happen because of X. Right? This is what you need to bring to the forefront. And we will send a list of various other skeletons, if you will, for these limiting beliefs that help you identify them a little bit better. But that's important because that's the only thing that's going to be resisting you from actually being able to step forward. So, and that's where it becomes simple, actually, is when you find where those limiting beliefs are, you find the memories that have instilled those, the traumas in which have come from the past, and then we go about how do we heal those and release from them. And then we just continue that process over and over and over until you get to the real bottom of what it is that's holding the process back. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what I really would like you guys to focus on over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be sending you guys a little bit more resources and other videos to watch on your own time that will help clear up some of the topics that we went through. As we head into the second half, this will finish the first half and the 21st. The second half will be a lot more of, like I said, we have the vision, we have these beliefs and obstacles that are presenting us, this is what we need to do to heal them. And then we just keep repeating that. that's where the process can become quite simple, because then we're not looking to expand ourselves into all these other aspects of knowledge. It's just simply, I know what it needs to act on. These are the things that are resisting me from taking these actions. This is what I need to do to heal them. And then I continuously just repeat that. Seems simple enough? Yes, not always easier said than done, but it is the quest. So that's pretty much it for today. You know, I am pushing some things back now to next week, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much. Recognizing that there is one component that I do want to make sure that is clear, and this may help you with your motivation once again with doing the homework, and not just the homework, but having that quest in mind, is just as we reposition the frustrations of the traffic jam on the red light to the frustrations of your just inability to practice your meditations and be able to deal with that suffering, right? Just that change is also the same change in recognizing when I'm complaining about not having enough time, when I'm complaining about my life not being fully aligned with what I would like to have, when I'm complaining about all these issues. It's simply just the pointing and directing of the energy levels in which you have. You only have so much amount of energy in a day. If that amount of energy is being focused on 90% menial and dull and non-useful tasks that are not aligning you with this higher space, or the space of you creating something in your life because of fear, because of lack of time, because of overcommitting, well then we know what's going to happen, right? It's obvious what's going to happen. The energy in, energy out is the only space of time management. Time is energy. Time is nothing more than energy, and energy is no more than time. So when we're getting into spaces of time management, it's simply, what is our energy management? So if we think doing 100 tasks today, but not taking care of our body, not eating well, not prepping our meals, eating some shitty food, some fast food or something, having no time for meditation, if we think that is the better space of time management, rather than recognizing maybe a 2-hour workout today and a lot of rest and some meditation and only 20 tasks, I feel like that is more productive. Right? Only the mind and the configuring of the mind will recondition you and think that that's not the space. That's not what you need to do. But if we're starting to reconfigure that, we're looking at time management in a space of energy management. If I'm focusing on expanding my energy and having all the energy that I need, then time is no longer an issue. Because I already know when I'm in a space like this, I can handle my work. I can be efficient. I can be extremely detailed and oriented. But when there's nothing that's going to come from that, because there's nothing going into that. No matter the amount of tasks, the amount of tasks is not what's mattering. It's the energy in which is put in to the task. And that seems very simple, but we seem to forget it when we go through our week and we have a million things to do, and we get caught up in all the bullshit, all the things that are not pulling us in directions of the higher space in which we're looking to redirect. They're just handling all of these things. So if you found that your accomplished day is filled with things that are maybe 1% of them are actually aligning you with this vision you're looking to connect with. The rest is filled with the doing the groceries and finishing the dishes and walking the dog and taking a shower and sending one email, and that is what you're looking at as a space of the accomplishment. We must recognize that yes, that could be accomplishing for you. They make you feel confident about your ability to do things. But if it's not actually bringing you in the direction of your vision, then what's the use of it in the grand scheme? That's what we always must recognize, and understanding the giving up of the lower for the higher is where your decision must be made. Where sometimes those tasks that are of importance to you are not going to be of importance when you change the direction and you change the perception and you change the dial. So that's where your level of understanding of where the importance of this vision is for you and where you're at on that scale. So that's something that I would like to just point out. I wanted to go deeper on it today, but we'll leave it for next session. So we know what we need to do. We know what the focus can be. We're understanding that it's of our own doing and it's of our own importance to handle that if we would like. But also remember too, you have me by your side at any point. You can send me a message, send me an email, post somewhere on my Facebook or whatever questions, whatever things you're needing help with, send me those things and I will get you whatever resources you're needing, whatever we need to do to handle that. So just keep that in mind, that resource is available to you. And also recognizing that the chakra test is not meant to be handled just within these Sunday sessions. That chakra test, makeup is at the base of whatever success or failure you're having, then we're going to be at the forefront of that in helping you with whatever you're needing. So remember that, okay? So